everyone? We are back with it again, talking about AVANTIS. So it did pull back just like we were talking about in the previous video, but we are now waiting for the next confirmation. We're going to talk about this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's go over it. So as you can see, the price currently for AVANTIS is $1.13. That puts it at 6.5% down in the last 24 hours. 18% down in the last 7 days, 39% down in the last 14 days. So we're still down. Our market cap is at 291 million. And for the first time in a long time, our trading volume is finally below our market cap. So now the trading volume is at 223 million. So AVANTIS is kind of like leveling out in a way. That's pretty much what it's doing right now. It's leveling out. So it's finding its base before it, creates the next pump. So not only has the price action been slowing down on AVANTIS, also the hype train has been slowing down. So people aren't hyping AVANTIS up as much. The volume is way lower at 223 million rather than the billions. Look at what the volume was doing before: 3.9 billion, 4 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion. No, 8 billion. 7 billion was the one. All right. But yeah, 6 billion, 7 billion, 724 million. Like, look at this. Like 1 billion, 2 billion, 7 billion. Look, it's slowing down. The reason why we were pumping so much is because so much money was flowing through AVANTIS. It was going through its futures platform. The money was going through AVANTIS, the coin itself. Everything was just set up right for AVANTIS. But the hype has slowed down. And this always happens because, think about it, you can't just keep dropping new stuff 24/7. Like, you can do it for like a couple weeks straight. But then after that, it's like, all right, now we got to get back to the drawing board and create the next plan, right? The previous plan worked and it pumped AVANTIS humongously. Now they're going back to the drawing board and they're like, let's plan some more. And you can tell they're doing that because they haven't posted in a bit since October 3rd. But look, they were posting every day and keeping people updated every day and just doing so much posts and, just doing so much. But you can only do but so much before you got to go back to the drawing board. And that's what they're doing. They're going back to the drawing board. So what we're waiting for right now is for something big to come out. Let's see if they drop something big or if the overall market gives us something big, because it could either be something within AVANTIS or something in the overall market that helps push AVANTIS up. So that's what we're looking at. And look, this is why I drew this trend line here, right here, because I just knew it was going to ride that trend line. And it did exactly that. It rode the trend line all the way down to the bottom of this wedge. So it did it to a T. This is what we were talking about yesterday, guys. And it did exactly what we thought. And right around this time period, I assume it would be somewhere around here. And it is right there. X marks the spot. So that's pretty good. Now, the next thing that we want to watch out for, because now this trend line can go away. The next thing we want to watch out for is whether or not we are going to come up to the top of this pattern that we're in. If we come up to the top of this channel, then that's going to be a pretty bullish thing for us, right? Because then it gives us the opportunity to try to break out up here. But look, if we come up to the top of the channel and we do not break out up here, we got to start looking for the next pullback. So then we are looking to come down here to the bottom of the Fibonacci area at $1.05. And I've been talking about $1.05 for a while. It could either just start dropping and dumping now, or it could try to recover from here, get to here, and then end up not being able to break and then going lower. Or if it can actually break, it'll go up to this next resistance all the way up here. And that next resistance brings us to $1.50. But the way things are moving right now, I'm leaning more towards the downside, guys. I think that we might pull back to $1.05. And possibly lower than $1.05, even lower than $1, because 89 cents is that next level down there that I've been talking about for a long time. So definitely watch out for that, because we are nearing the end of this pattern in this era right now. So I'm really waiting for the next move here for AVANTIS, and I think it's going to come soon. Now, a few things that kind of help us see where we're leaning more towards. Look at how the selling volume, our buying volume has now completely left, and now selling volume should start coming in even more here. So It's looking a little bearish. And then we have this long-term trend here on the percent R trend exhaustion coming down here towards the bottom, and the short-term trend pulling back as well. So even harder pullback could happen. That's why I was saying maybe we don't even try to come up here to the top of this pattern, right? That'd be pretty nice. But maybe we don't even get the opportunity to come up there and we just start dumping from here. So that's another possibility that I've been mentioning. Look, we touched it once here, touched it twice, touched it 3 times, and on the top, touched it once here, and now there could be a possible touch of a 3rd time up there. But again, it could just start dumping right here, and that's what you really have to pay attention to right now, because right now the markets, they're being irrational right now. Like there's just a lot going on, a little bit too much. And technically it hit it 3 times. You can count this as 1, twice. You can count that as 1 over there. So yeah, technically, yeah. And then this is the 2-hour chart. The percent R trend exhaustion shows that the trend is over exhausted to the downside, showing that we could have some possible buying pressure to the upside pretty soon. But short-term buying pressure, because look, the long-term trend on the percent R trend exhaustion is staying on the bottom. So the short term is the one that's fluctuating up and down. That's why you're still seeing the price dropping, because the short term trend goes up like this, and then it comes right back down and brings the price down with it. But if the long term trend goes up alongside the short term trend, then it doesn't immediately drop, and then it holds and trades sideways until it drops. That's pretty much how the percent R trend exhaustion works. And we can see it right here, the perfect example. So you can see here the short term trend comes up, but the long-term trend does not come up alongside it, which causes the short-term trend to come right back down as the long-term trend stays sideways. Same thing, boom, down, comes back up, comes back down because the long-term trend is still down. So hypothetically speaking, if we do it again and the long-term trend stays down, you will see up and then boom, right back down, right? And this is getting higher and higher. So the pumps are going higher and higher. If you look at this though, this is getting shorter and shorter. So the high here is lower, or is higher over here, and this one is a lower high over here, but the percent R trend exhaustion is increasing, which means we could be having a sort of squeeze here, and we might have enough push to pump us here to the top, because it's almost like it's squeezing. So that's just how I'm seeing it right now. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this. But yeah, this is getting interesting right now, because if it dumps from right here, I reckon it will not stop at $1, and it'll probably stop down here at this support at 89 cents, possibly even lower. So that's why I'm like, this is a very it's a very tough spot, and I think we're gonna break down to the downside. But yeah, we'll see what happens though. Keep an eye out for this, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated, even if it comes out like 2 hours later and then we're at like a huge crash. Then I'll immediately make another video and be like, all right, this is what we need to do. This is the game plan. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys want me to go over next. And as always, I'll be back with another video.